Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay, back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing an overview of Dark Crisis Young Justice hardcover. I'll be talking about a little bit of the story, the art, and of course if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at front of the dust jacket, the spine, the back, show a full spread image of the art, you can see that. Let's put this to the side. Front of the book, the spine, the back, show you a full spread image of the art. Alright, now let's take a look at what's inside. So, what is this book about? So, from my understanding, this book takes place during the Dark Crisis event. The book doesn't really talk about the Dark Crisis, doesn't really mention it. They just mention about the Justice League being dead, so I'm assuming this is going to be during the Dark Crisis event. I have not read Dark Crisis, so I'm not too sure exactly what happened, so you've been warned. The team are mourning the death of the Justice League. The team referring to the Young Justice, and out of the blue, Superboy, Impulse, Robin, or Tim Drake go missing, so it's up to Wonder Girl to find out where they at. This book is broken down two different parts. First part, or one part, is going to be Wonder Girl seeking help from the remaining heroes and trying to find the three missing heroes. And the other part's going to be the three heroes' journey and trying to find out where they at and what's really going on. And that is essentially the book, or the gist of the story. And with that said, the book is okay. It's not great or good, but it's not horrible or bad. It's just okay. It's very in the middle. And that's pretty much all I can say about it. Nothing really original, nothing really compelling. You get some cool banter between some of the heroes and Wonder Girl and so forth, but for the most part, the story is okay. It's the way I can describe this book is like this. It's like the movie Megan. Have you seen the movie Megan? That movie itself, it's not a great film or a good film, but also it's not horrible or bad. It's cool. And that's what this book is. Like, if you watch the movie Megan, you'll enjoy it for the moment, but then when the movie's over, after about an hour, you're kind of like, okay, cool, and you forget about it. That's what this book is, to where when you're reading it and you're in the moment, you're like, okay, this is cool stuff here and there. About an hour after, you're like, I can't forget about it. You forgot about it. And that's what this book is. It's just kind of like, nothing really original happened, nothing creative. They try to do something creative towards the end with the villain, which I'll talk about in the villain in a bit, but they just kind of shoot on him what exactly they do to defeat the villain. And the villain's motivation is also like, what? It's not bad, but it's just like, what? Like, that's the only way I can describe it. I cannot say too much because if I do, I'll spoil it, but I'll just say that the motivation of the villain, in the beginning, it does kind of make sense. Like, okay, I kind of see what you're trying to do, and it somewhat makes logical sense. But the more question is, but what does it benefit you? Like, what's your purpose out of it? I don't want to say too much or why or who the villain is. I'll spoil it. But if you do read this, you'll know what I'm talking about. The art, it's fine. Again, it's nothing amazing or anything. It's not bad, but it's also not amazing. It's fine. It's passable. Pacing, it's average. Few moments that it goes above average, but for the most part, it's about average. Paper quality is matte. Do you need to have prior knowledge? No, you're perfectly fine. Like I said, I have not read the Dark Crisis, so I don't know exactly what happens in the Dark Crisis. I was perfectly fine with it. They do mention of the Justice League being dead. And again, like I said in the very beginning of the video, I'm not too sure if this is going to be during, post, or pre-Dark Crisis, but they mentioned how the Justice League are dead and now they are the remaining heroes. So, from my understanding, you don't need any prior knowledge because, again, I have not read Dark Crisis. I bought this book. It was half off. I got it, read it, perfectly fine, so you're good to go. So overall, what I give this book, it's kind of an odd overview because on the one hand, I want to give the book a thumbs down because honestly, nothing creative about it. It's just very mediocre. It's like, again, similar to the movie. If you watch the movie Megan, where you'll enjoy it while you're watching it, but once the movie's over, you kind of forget about it. But at the same time, I don't think it's a thumbs down because it's not really bad. Like, the writing in here, it's not bad. Same with the art or the story. It's just nothing creative about it. It's just very by the numbers. But if I had to give a rating, either up and down. I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down, a low thumbs down. Again, nothing creative. It's not bad, but the reason I'm gonna give it a thumbs down is just because of the motivation of the villain. When they explain it, it makes somewhat sense in the beginning, but the way they defeat him is kind of like, all right, this is what you can come up with, and that's the only reason why I give it a low thumbs down. It's not a bad book by any means. It's just nothing special about this book. If you read it, you're probably gonna be like me, to where it's like, okay, cool, close it, put it in your shelf, and that's it. So that's that. Overall, what do I give the Dark Crisis Young Justice hardcover book? I give it a low thumbs down. It's not a horrible book. It's also not a great book. It's just one of those books to where, again, like you said, you buy it, you read it, you enjoy it for the moment, and then you put it back on the shelf. And the only reason I'm going to give it a thumbs down is just because, like I said, of the villain, to where the motivation starts off somewhat logical, but then how they defeat him and the main reason why the villain's doing what he's doing. Again, I'm trying to be vague, so I don't want to give it away. It's just kind of like, okay, I guess. So once again, I give it a low thumbs down. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you plan on reading this book? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of Dark Crisis Young Justice hardcover, and on to the next one.